Greetings everyone and welcome back to another video. The day has finally come, the moment has finally arrived. They've actually dropped a blog post for the 12th anniversary bundle. Up until now we've only gotten a couple of tweets and some vague chatter in the background, not the normal rollout of blog posts that we get. But that's okay because now we get to look at it all in one go. Everything is on this one page. This video could end up being very long, but I'm going to do my best to keep it nice and concise. So, first thing, they actually listen to feedback. I know that's hard to believe, but they've done it. The Mad Lads have actually taken criticism on board. Everyone says, we don't like these big all-or-nothing bundles. We want to be able to buy the ships individually, and we got it. This is the first anniversary bundle ever where the new ships, anyway, there is one exception. Put a little asterisk there, put a pin in it, we're going to come back to it. All of the 4 new ships are going to be available individually, and more importantly than that, or just as importantly as that, I should say, is that they are all lockbox premium stats. They are fleet ready. They have 2 specialization seats. These things are built like lockbox ships. They have good stats, base stats, and all that stuff. So this is not your normal C-store fare. These are built like premium ships, and they're going to be available individually in the C-store. That's crazy. So this is a great precedent. Hopefully we're going to see more of this in the future. And let's go ahead and get to see what's actually in the bundle. So it's going to go on sale for PC players on February 17th. It's currently the 14th as of the day of recording, so it's a few more days away. And console is going to get it in the following month. No dates, sorry, console players. We have 4 new ships that correspond to the hero ships from the various shows. So the Terran Lexington Dreadnought Cruiser is the Yorktown, or the Enterprise F if you like. The Terran Cygnus Battlecruiser is the Enterprise D. The Terran Adamant Heavy Raider is the Defiant. And the Terran Trailblazer Science warship is the Voyager, or the Intrepid. So it's mostly just hero ships given the Mirror Universe treatment, which will pretty much, I'm trying to think, these are probably going to be the best versions of those ships in the C-store, if we're not counting the legendary versions from the 10th anniversary bundle. I'm pretty sure these are going to be best in class. Maybe not the Yorktown, because the regular ones have command seating, but in general these are pretty strong now if you're looking to get a hero ship from the C-store. If you get the bundle, however, you also get an account unlock for the Mir Strikewing Escort, which is a lockbox ship, and its claim to fame is that it has the Superior Area Denial Starship Trait, which is very good. I don't want to go into too much detail on that because it's old stuff that already exists, so you could look it up. But it debuffs enemies on your firing modes, and it gives your pets firing modes, and it's a good trait. And you would get that as an account unlock. You would also get some new uniforms and some previously unreleased Terran uniform variant pieces. I will say they're doing some exclusive stuff with this bundle, which I understand they're trying to experiment because they have never given us the option with these to buy stuff individually, and I think they thought we have to add some more exclusives into the bundle to encourage people to buy the bundle and not just buy the ships individually. And I kind of don't like how they've done it. If we rewind to the Mir Strikewing Escort, it's got two lines here. With the new Earhart class Terran variant material, so there's a new material, that material is exclusive to this bundle. And so my reading of it is that if you already own the Mir Strikewing Escort and you paid premium top dollar for it, either by gambling or buying it on the exchange or whatever, you're not going to have access to this material. I think that's pretty crummy. I think if you had been loyal, paid the money in the past to get this thing, you should automatically have access to all the materials, even the ones that come out in the future. Some people disagree with that, I know, but I mean, come on. Now if they want that material, they're going to feel compelled to buy a big bundle after they've already paid for the ship. So that leaves a bad taste in my mouth, even though I don't really care about that. I don't care about materials that much. The second line is also a bit weird. The ship can only be claimed by Federation captains or those who've unlocked cross-faction starships. Now, admittedly, it's not that hard to do. You level up a KDF character, but why not just include cross-faction flying in the bundle for the handful of people who want to buy the bundle but don't have cross-faction flying and don't want to play a KDF character? It's this weird nickel and diming that's going on here. Like, okay, we're going to give you an account unlock, but it's going to come with an exclusive material. So if you already own the ship, you're going to feel compelled to buy it. That's bad. And then if you don't have cross-faction flying already, we're going to make you buy it on top of this just so you can buy a ship, fly a ship you've already bought. So don't like that. Same thing with the Terran Empire costume stuff. So I understand adding the new stuff, right? The Inquisitor's uniform. That's fine. That's a new thing. Putting it in there for sale. But then the unreleased stuff, well, it's unreleased. Just give it to everyone. Why does that have to be exclusive, right? So I kind of feel like the unreleased stuff should be just given to everyone. But we did get that Terran event last year where they gave us the Mir Gagarin and all that, and they gave us free weapons and everything. So they've already been kind of generous with the Mirror Universe stuff, but still, I don't like the direction they're going to try and make the bundle feel better. Anyway, you get a title, so that ought to increase sales by exactly 0. Then you get the extras, the packing peanuts. Pretty good this time, not gonna lie. You get a ship coupon. They released a lot of really great C-Store ships last year, so if you hadn't gotten one of those already, you could use it on that, or maybe they're going to release a bunch of great ones this year, so you could use it on one of those in the future. So that's a pretty nice. Ship coupons are always pretty good. 6 experimental ship upgrade tokens. That's pretty useful. I'm about out on mine, so I'm going to enjoy picking those up. Those are always useful, always welcome. 6 starship slots. That's great. I like when these bundles include ship slots because, let's be honest here, you don't want to have to pay for more ship slots just to get a ship you've already paid for. That feels crummy, so I like that they're including the ship slots. 12 master keys, almost certainly bound to account or bound to character, so you're going to actually have to open boxes. Should get you about 60 Lobi. If you're looking for maximum return on investment, then I recommend opening Borg boxes if you can get them, because some of those duty officers sell for a lot, and you're more likely to get one of those than you are to get the ship. So little tip there. 12 ultimate tech upgrades, those are always useful. Upgrade your gear, so pretty nice suite of extras. But what about the price? Is it worth it? So it's going to be base price $17,500 if you consider that you're getting 5 account unlocked ships. So that would be, $15,000 right there. The ship coupon, experimental ship upgrade tokens, all that stuff. I think if you add it all up in terms of what the value is buying it individually, the value is there even at the base price. Obviously, you'd be crazy to buy at the base price. It's actually going to be $13,125. I think this is a pretty good deal if you want all the ships. You may not, but if you don't want all the ships, that's fine. You can buy them individually now, so you'll miss out on the account unlock on the Mirror Strikewing Escort, but the other 4 ships you'll still be able to pick up if you don't want all this. Here's a look at the costume stuff. That's not really my thing. We're going to scroll past it so this video isn't an hour long. I'm not going to talk about the Mirror Strikewing Escort anymore. There's going to be a review on it coming up in the future. It's an old ship. Let's move on. We want new stuff. New. Terran, Lexington, Dreadnought Cruiser, Go, Yorktown class, Mirror Universe. Tier 6, hull modifier 1.375, shield modifier 1.15. Honestly, I kind of expected a little bit better. That is a bit weak sauce. 4-4 weapon layout, bridge officer stations, 1 lieutenant tactical intel, 1 lieutenant commander tactical, 1 commander engineering miracle worker, 1 ensign science, 1 lieutenant commander universal. That's pretty good seating if you want to do a miracle worker build. The miracle worker seating is only competing with engineering, which is fine, because usually that's what you want the least of. The intel seating is great for some uncon procs, and you got plenty of universal and science seating to put more procs on those, get you a gravity well or whatever you want. So if you're looking to do an energy weapon build specifically with Miracle Worker, this is a really, really nice bridge officer layout for that. You get 4 tactical console slots, plus you get the universal console from it being a full Miracle Worker ship. So I think this is going to be a very popular ship. If there's going to be one ship people are going to buy individually who aren't getting the bundle, I think this is going to be the big one here. And of course, there is the new models here. You got the Lexington, which is the Terran livery, Lexington Federation livery. The difference between those is one has Mirror Universe stuff on it, but they both have that pod on the top. So see that in more detail when I do the cinematic in the review video, but it has like a pod on top, and then you can just get it without the pod. So if you just want to have the skin without the pod on it, it looks like they will let you remove it, which I will because I think it looks goofy. So I'm glad they're giving us the option to remove it. It comes because these are regular C-Store ships and not legendaries. They do come with new consoles as well as new traits. And this one also has an innate ability, the Agony Phaser Lance. So it doesn't give us much info on it, just other than that it exists. These things are usually pretty good, and even if they're not, it's extra. You don't have to do anything to get it. It's just part of the ship, so that's nice. Presumably it's the Agony Phaser proc, where it does the dot instead of taking subsystems offline. Pretty nice stuff there. You don't have to have a console equipped to get it or anything. It's just part of the ship. Universal Console Multi-Directional Artillery Barrage. This actually looks pretty good. It gives you passes to projectile damage and maximum hull capacity. Very nice. The clicky, what does that do? Launches warheads in all directions, dealing kinetic damage to foes. Bonus damage per firing arc with one or more foes. And then additional bonus damage per affected foe. It's going to be, I feel like those two are like the opposites. Like if you're surrounded, the first line, bonus damage per firing arc, is going to give you a bunch of bonus damage. But if you're not surrounded and you got them all gravity welled in front of you, or at least the way I'm reading it, you get bonus damage per affected foe. So even if all the foes are on one arc, you're still getting a bonus just for having a lot of foes. So I don't know, but it might not be that good depending on what the bonus damage looks like. Maybe these kinetic missiles are, wet noodles, who knows, but on paper it looks very promising. So I think this might be a very, very good console and something that people are going to want to use. Then we got the new trait, Dimensional Modulation. It's kind of weak sauce when you activate Directed Energy Modulation or Miracle Worker Bridge Officer ability. You get some bonus damage for 10 seconds, maximum once per 10 seconds. Scales with nearby foes within 5 kilometers up to 10 max. So you have to be close to your foes. You need a lot of them in order to get the max benefit. It only starts at 3%. Yes, it is Cat 2, but these days we actually have a lot of decent Cat 2 Starship traits that would compete with this and be better than this if you only had a few targets. So the fact that it only starts at 3 and maxes out at 30, it's just not that strong. And it's a bit fiddly. Depending on when you activate your Miracle Worker powers, you're not going to be able to do it with just one Miracle Worker power. If you're doing it with 2, you're going to have to stagger them so that every 10 seconds you got one going off. If you don't have that many targets near you, or you activate it at the wrong time, you might get stuck with 3% bonus damage instead of 30. You're probably just better off using a haste trait or one of the other Cat 2 traits. So I think ultimately this is going to be pretty weak, but if you don't have anything better, it's still Cat 2 bonus damage, so it's not terrible, but I don't think it's really all that great. Okay, Hangar Pets, Mirror Universe Shuttlecraft. Not going to talk about those too much because they're old, but if you don't have them already, this will unlock them for you, so that's nice. I don't think they used to be the best pets in the game until the Alliance Carrier came out. Now those Alliance Squadron Fighters are the best, so if you're doing the anniversary event or you finished the anniversary event and you have the Alliance Carrier, I would say, don't worry about it. Don't buy this ship just to get the pets is what I'm saying if you already have the Alliance Carrier, because you already have better pets. So they are really, really good pets. They're still good pets, but they're not the best anymore. Okay, now we're going to come on to the Terran Cygnus Battlecruiser, aka the Mirror Universe Enterprise. Yes, Bloody D. That's right, Galaxy class. Here we go. Tier 6. hull modifier 1.525, which sounds, normal, right? But it's not a cruiser, it's a battle cruiser. So that's a pretty high hull modifier for a battle cruiser. Shield modifier 1.25. It's really weird to see a 5.3 on the Galaxy, but it's got a 5.3 weapon layout. We got a Lieutenant Tactical Command, a Lieutenant Tactical, a Commander Engineering Temp Op, so it's a Temp Op ship, a Lieutenant Science, and a Lieutenant Commander Universal. Not a big fan of this seating. Temp Ops is good if you want to do recursive shearing. Throw in a couple of uncon procs, use that Lieutenant Commander Universal. Seems like you might want to use it for tactical, because otherwise you're missing out on tactical seating. Command seating isn't doing much for you. It's a bit awkward, not the biggest fan of this seating, to be honest. 3 tactical, 5 engineering, 3 science. It still feels like it's trying to be a cruiser, even though it's a battle cruiser. So it's a bit of a weird one for me. I would much rather just fly the Ross, if I'm being perfectly honest. That's the legendary version of the Galaxy. It has a new trait and console, so let's take a look at those. Universal Console, Destabilize Dimensional Rift. Activating this console projects a dimensional rift forward for 8 kilometers, which expands after reaching that distance. Foes near the rift take phaser damage and are banished to the Terran universe for several seconds. I love this. I love the design of this. I have no idea if it's going to be any good. It might be complete and total garbage for all I know in terms of the numbers. I don't care. I love the flavor on this. You're creating an anomaly that is going to banish people to the mirror universe. That is absolutely amazing and delightful, and I can't wait to use it. All right, Controlled Aggression is the new trait. When this trait is slotted, activating a Universal Console or Temp Op Bridge Officer ability, which are both things people like to do, then you will get a bonus to your control expertise based on your current amount of EPG skill. I don't like this. It's very easy to max out or to nearly max out on control expertise without a Starship Trait. If you're going in for a Starship Trait, it had better do something spectacular, and control expertise just isn't it. So this trait sucks. I hate to be that way, but it is not good. Okay, the Terran Adamant Heavy Raider. I think unless you're going in for the console specifically, if you're looking to pick these ships up individually, this is probably the most passable one for me. This is the one I'm really excited about the console, but everything else seems very weak. I'm not a big fan. Okay, so now we get the Defiant, tough little ship, Terran Adamant Heavy Raider. So we get a Defiant, which is not only a warship, now we're getting a Defiant, which is a Raider. Okay, so Tier 6, hull modifier 1.15. Oh, also, I like this new design. Right, this new design they have, really, really cool. I'm one of those people who thinks the Defiant is ugly. Sorry. It has a weird nose on it and everything. I much prefer this new design where it looks more like a shuttle. I think that just looks better. That's just my opinion. So that's probably going to be the skin I use for the Defiant now. Bridge Officer Stations. 1 Commander Tactical Intel. So it is a full Intel ship, 1 Ensign Universal, 1 Lieutenant Universal Temp Ops, and 2 Lieutenant Commander Universals. I like that it has 2 Lieutenant Commander Universals. It gives it plenty of flexibility. The Temp Ops seating gives it some nice uncon procs. And the Intel seating is useful, but I think that Intel is just kind of weak. Intel is like the greatest specialization for your second specialization seat, and it's not very good as your primary specialization seat, so it's useful, no doubt. The seating isn't terrible, but it just doesn't do a lot for me, to be honest. Consoles, 5 tactical, 3 engineering, 3 science. That's pretty good. And of course, it has a new experimental weapon, which is very nice as well. So we get something a bit special here. And it also comes with a special Agony quad phaser cannon. So the regular Defiant comes with the quad phaser cannon. This one comes with the Agony quad phaser cannon. The quad phaser cannon is actually a very good weapon. So I'm curious to see whether you're allowed to use both, Are you allowed to have, because you're not allowed to have more than one of the regular quad phaser cannon. Are you allowed to have more than one? Are you allowed to have both? Like, can you have the quad phaser cannon and the Agony quad phaser cannon? I'm not sure. We'll have to see. But pretty nice there that they included that. They didn't have to. I don't think anyone would have noticed or complained if they didn't, but it's a nice touch. We get a new experimental weapon, the Terran Repeating Warhead Launcher, which already sounds intimidating. Specialized warhead launchers have a narrow firing arc but fire multiple times at your chosen foe, dealing repeated kinetic damage, 135-degree targeting arc, heavy kinetic damage times 3, 20% shield pin, over 20 seconds, 8-second recharge, plus 30% crit severity with this weapon. Is it going to be any good? I don't know. We already have a lot of really amazing experimental weapons, including free ones or ones that were given out free at some point, like the Soliton Wave Impaler. So it might not, measure up to those, but, it'll probably be fun to use anyway. And they included it. I whenever you have a hangar bay, an experimental weapon slot, anything like that, I want to see new stuff in there. I don't want to see old stuff. So I'm happy that we got a new experimental weapon. It could be the worst one in the game. I don't care. I just want something new for my money. Okay, I'm paying for a ship with an experimental weapon slot. I want something new, and they're giving it to me. So thumbs up on that. Console University, yes, it's going to college. Console Universal Agony Redistributor. Gives passives to flight speed and inertia. This console may be equipped on any ship, blah, blah. Each second, this is the clicky, for up to 15 seconds, the amount of hull depleted from the target is stored. Each second deals phaser damage equal to 33% of the stored value, ignores shields and half resistance. What exactly does half resistance mean? I don't know. Does that mean it sets their resistance to half of their default? Because a lot of enemies don't have resistance. Is that calculated before or after damage resistance reduction effects from like attack pattern beta or whatever? I don't know what it means. Does it do all of the reductions and then have it? Because if they have negative and you have it, that's not really a good thing. So I don't know how this works exactly, but what I do know is that if you know anything about the abilities in this game, this will immediately jump out to you as being a recursive shearing type effect. It's basically the same sort of effect, and recursive shearing is a really good bridge officer ability. It's one of the best ones from the temp op specialization, so this has the potential to be really, really good, I think. I don't know if it'll make the cut on, high-end specialty builds, but I think that recursive shearing is a good ability. This gives you recursive shearing on a clicky. It gives you flight speed, which is something everyone wants. So I think this has the potential to be a really good console. Okay, Starship Trait, the Wild Weasel. Activating evasive maneuvers or any intel bridge officer ability will call in a Wild Weasel shuttle to distract nearby enemies. Maybe it does a little dance and that's how it distracts them. Up to 20 nearby targetable torpedoes and or mines will be drawn towards the mobile decoy, as well as the 5 nearest enemy vessels being taunted into attacking it. So it's going to taunt enemies. This isn't the kind of game that normally has taunting effects like other RPGs, so it is kind of an interesting one. I don't think it's going to be that good, right? Whenever you're relying on them saying it's a powerful attack or it's, whatever, it's usually not for people who play on higher difficulties. So I'm guessing this thing is going to be a paper tiger. I think if you're playing on higher difficulty, I expect this thing to get obliterated almost immediately. This feels a little bit like if you have the Iconian reputation leveled up, you get a clicky from that. And it's the interference platform that just makes a little thing that taunts enemies. So I feel like it's going to be like that. A feeling I'm getting from all of this is that they're taking stuff that already exists and kind of reskinning it, which I don't think is a bad thing. I'm not angry about it, but like, we have the console that gives you recursive shearing. That's like a thing that already exists, right? This just feels like they're repurposing that sensor interference platform clicky from the reputation system, but making it giving it a ship skin instead of the little beacon or whatever it had before. I think it's going to suck. I predict it's going to be complete trash, but whatever, who cares? What I'm really curious to see is what does it look like? I want to know what the Weasel shuttle looks like. I hope it's really cool looking, but anyway, there's no way that's worth a Starship Trait slot. No way, not a chance. Okay, let's move on here to the Mirror Universe um, Voyager, the Intrepid, and a lot of people would say that regular universe Janeway is already Mirror Universe material, so this thing might be pretty wicked. It's tier 6, of course. Be weird, wouldn't it? Throw in a random tier 5. Hull modifier 1.15. It is a science vessel. Shield modifier 1.3. Seems a bit weak for a science vessel, to be honest. It is a warship. It has a 4-3 weapon layout, which not all science vessels get, so that's nice. Then we get a Lieutenant Tactical Miracle Worker, kind of weird, a Lieutenant Commander Tactical, an Ensign Engineering, a Commander Science Command, and a Lieutenant Commander Universal. This sadly might be the highest performing ship in this bundle, simply due to the fact that it has a Commander Command. That's how busted Commander Command is right now on elite difficulty. The Lexington might be better for advanced if you're doing energy weapon stuff, but yeah, it has a full command seat. I don't think it meshes well. I don't think command and miracle worker really goes well with science, in my opinion. I don't like science vessels that have that. Kind of reminiscent of the Janeway, I guess, which is a promo ship a lot of people couldn't get their hands on. It has 4 tactical, 2 engineering, 5 science. And it's going to have, obviously, some new stuff here. And weirdly, it has an inbuilt Agony Phaser Lance. I didn't see that coming at all. I mean, it is a warship, right? But it's still a science ship. Although, we are talking about the Terran Empire here. I'm pretty sure they would put a phaser lance on a cheeseburger, so maybe it's not that weird in the Mirror Universe. So it has a phaser lance built in, which is pretty cool, to be honest. So if you're one of those people who were hoping to get Warship Voyager, you know, like when the 10th anniversary came out and we thought we were getting the warship, I think they're finally giving it to us. It's not canonical. It's not supposed to be the warship from the TV show, but it is a warship, and it has a phaser lance. So if you were looking to accurately roleplay as Janeway, you can go murder people with abandon now. Okay, enough of that. Universal Console Decentralized Immunity. Console provides passives to shield capacity and crit severity, and the latter scales based on your current Starship Exotic Particle Generator skill. This console may be equipped on any ship on any console. That's a really good effect. I don't know how much crit severity it's going to give you, but that's a really good effect. So I imagine that the passive on this is going to be really strong. The clicky creates a Rampart deflection drone for 10 seconds, so we got more drones. Immune to all damage while the drone is active, and then the drone may be targeted or destroyed. Not great, but then again, I suppose they don't want to just give you blanket immunity. If destroyed before 10 seconds, cooldown partially refunded. Most consoles have a 2-minute cooldown though. I don't think the drone should be able to be targeted or destroyed. I think that's unnecessary. It's only 10 seconds out of every 2 minutes. Is that really going to break the game to give you a 10-second immunity with that terrible of a uptime? I don't think so. I don't think anyone would use it anyway. If anyone does use this, it's going to be for the crit severity, plain and simple. If people use this, they would just ignore the clicky and they would say, I'm just using it for the crit severity. So it could be a good crit severity console. We'll have to see what the numbers look like, how hard it is to get the crit severity up to a reasonable number. Starship Trait, Weaponized Exotic Particles. While this trait is slotted, the Starship enjoys a bonus to exotic particle generators. And basically it's just, you get 50 EPG if you have a tactical firing mode. So it doesn't work with firing modes from specializations. It doesn't work with surgical strikes or anything like that. It has to be one of the OGs. Fire at will, scatter volley, torp spread, whatever. So if it's a tactical firing mode, while it's up, you'll get 50 EPG. This sucks. I'm just going to come right out and say this sucks. If it just gave you 50 EPG with no condition, it would still be terrible. 50 EPG for a Starship Trait? Get out of here. That is such junk. It would have to give, like, I don't know, 300 EPG or something to be worth it. So That's just not good. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to be grabbing this when it comes out. There's going to be reviews of all of the ships, so I hope you'll all stay tuned for that. And if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe so you can see when those videos come out. As always, take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.